Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Nighthawk Strangeness podcast channel and to the Saturday edition of the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew show with myself, Nighthawk, and Eric. Going to go through the disclaimer real quick, and then we're going to start our topics off with the Mothman. Okay. So, copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Nighthawk Strangeness podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for the sole purposes of informing you, the viewing family, of information for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, general knowledge only, and let's not forget the entertainment value. Per Title 17, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. All right, let me get that off of there. And we are going to be discussing, starting off with the Mothman, and God knows where we'll go from there, because the conversation Eric and I had backstage while you all were waiting patiently for us to start, we got into some military topics and stuff, and what's been happening around our areas. And so we'll probably even get into a little bit of that today. Who knows? So the Mothman. Let's take that off there. We'll bring Eric in. Good morning,
Hey,
brother.
everybody. Good morning. I was just looking on here trying to get updated on Mothman, and I found a article from University of Wisconsin, UW Milwaukee, that a student had did on the Mothman on 12 July 2021. It's kind of interesting, actually. I'm kind of glancing over it while you were doing your disclaimer. I didn't realize I've done research on Mothman before, and I have not seen this. So this is kind of interesting here. I may have to read it.
Yeah, it must be a recent one then.
Yeah, it was done in 12 July of 2021, so a couple years old. But
yeah,
I'm kind of reading, kind of glancing over it, man. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they've been having a lot of sightings around Chicago and Milwaukee area, and even the Golden Gate Bridge has seen a lot of sightings too, from what I understand.
Roxanne, to answer your question, I've not been on Facebook a whole lot the last couple of days, so let me switch over there and I'll take a look. I was on a different.
All righty, let's say good morning to everybody.
Oh crap!
Steven, good to see you. Corey, good to see you. Roxanne, good to see you. Let's see. I know we got more people out there listening. Come on now. Anyways, good morning to everybody and happy birthday to all those beautiful babies that were born this day. And I hope you have many, many more. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little under the weather. But I'm going to try and get through this podcast as best as I can. Starflower, good to see you. While Eric's reading, I'm going to go over a few things. We have a Bigfoot event coming up next weekend, and I probably will not be doing a live Saturday, which is, I believe, the 15th of the month. Because I will be down at the festival, the Bigfoot event. So, and that is the one that my dear friend and brother Daniel Benoit puts on for the East Coast Bigfoot Research Organization, and very, very big event. A lot of good speakers at this event too. So, anyways, I'll probably be down there for the majority of it for all day Saturday at least, because it's Friday and Saturday. But I don't think I'm going to go down for Friday. But I'll be down there for Saturday at least, the very least. If people want to swing by and say hello or meet me or whatever, that's where I'll be. So, anyways, good morning to Poncho. Um, yeah, the Mothman. You know, it's an amazing thing. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go check on Jacob real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, brother. To answer your question, Roxanne, I started listening to it. I haven't got a chance to finish it, so I will be finishing it later on. But it seems pretty spot on right now. So, uh, yeah, I'll have to finish watching it. I didn't get it personally, but I found it in the Warrior chat, so I am going to get back up and try to watch it later on. I've got a couple events tonight, so there will not be a campfire chats tonight. I've got an event that I've got to go to right after this show. Then I've got another gathering I got to get to at 7 o'clock tonight. So I won't have a campfire chat today because I've got two events that I'm going to be going to. You are sport rotten. You know that? Oh, yes, I know, buddy. Okay, I'll look again, Roxanne. I didn't see it on my messenger, but I'll look again. If it's the one I think it was in the Weirdo Warrior chat, yeah, I started watching it, and then we started getting ready for the show, so I've not had a chance to finish it. 9. I'm on the show.
All right.
Oh, he's rotten little rat.
All
How's Jake?
right.
Is he
Now,
doing good?
yeah, he's fine. Well, Tracy's not here this morning. She's celebrating a birthday with a friend of hers that had a birthday back in April that they just now got a chance to get together. So
Oh no.
that's where she's at. So it's me and the boys and Jacob so that are here at the house. But anyways, from November 15th of 1966 to December 15th of 1967, Mothman was frequently spotted in or near the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Now, Point Pleasant, West Virginia is right along I think it's the Kanawha River and the Kanawha River Valley. November 16th, 1966, Point Pleasant's registered newspaper reported couples seeing a man-sized bird or moth in the area. They reported it around the TNT facilities there, which the TNT facilities was started for World War II as an ammunition manufacturing plant and area. So they call it the TNT factory. December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed. Okay. Now, and I'm going off of my notes here too, because I just haven't had time to really deal with it. But it actually killed or unalived 46 people and basically injured 9 people when the bridge collapsed. The bridge, constructed in 1926, was a mere 40 years old when the Mothman was reported sighted on or near the Silver Bridge before the collapse. Now, my question is the Mothman an angel of death, a bearer of bad omens, or is he just a misdiagnosed and analyzed, basically cryptid? It's always been my opinion that when you're dealing with the Mothman, you're dealing with something more supernatural in nature than you are cryptid in nature. Okay, you're dealing with something that can probably transfer very easily from one dimension to another, um, even times. He could probably even walk the timeline, so to speak. We as indigenous people, with us holy people, we do what we call a spirit walk, and that's where we walk amongst the stars, and the moon and the sun and everything. And I almost get the feeling that the Mothman is basically that same adaptive type of a being, an entity. Okay, I don't think he is. Good morning, David. Um, I don't think he is malevolent. I think that he is just kind of like. Well, I mean, the angel of death isn't malevolent. The angel of death is just doing what he's instructed to do, um, by a higher power. So maybe, just maybe, the Mothman could be along that same lines. To He has been reported being malevolent in nature. Several people that have had interactions with him, from going to the TNT grounds and all the domes and stuff there around the facility, have reported taking this being, this existence, or whatever you want to call it, the consciousness of this entity, home with them, to be followed home, and to almost have like a poltergeist type of an activity occur in their residence, for everything from being scratched, from physically seeing it, um, basically, trouble focusing, all kinds of different things, that these people encountered, um, literally frightened them. And a very dear brother of mine, David Spinks, he actually did a couple on the boots on the ground type of a investigation on it. And he actually was probably the first one to really bring it to the public eye, as far as Mothman being a supernatural entity, and not a cryptid. There for the longest time, everybody was thinking the Mothman was a cryptid. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he's more of a cryptid anymore than the Wendigo is a cryptid, or an S Walker is a cryptid. To me, those are not cryptids. Okay, those are malevolent powers. Okay, those are beings of supernatural existence through black magic, and through other means, curses and whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's just my belief. I don't know how you feel about it, Eric. You might want to let everybody know. I got to take a breather.
No, it's. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that shows it can go one of three ways. Either A, it is a supernatural entity trying to warn you of danger. B, it's a supernatural entity trying to causing harm. Or C, it's a military-made project. There's a lot of evidence that supports both things. Now, the difference between trying to warn or cause harm, could that be the difference between an actual Mothman and a demon disguising itself as a Mothman? Absolutely, that is a possibility when it comes to that. And that's kind of where I lean on that aspect. I believe Mothman is supernatural. Now, that doesn't mean the military hasn't had a hand in either A, trying to create their own, or they captured him trying to study him. That's a possibility as well. And uh, I don't know, man. Just there's a little bit known, or there's not as much known about him as some of the others, or it, I should say. I guess if I got to be politically correct, but there's so much out there and so much possibilities when it comes to this. But I mean, 100%, I'm down to him being supernatural. But I'm also down with, I think there's a lot of misidentification when it comes to Mothman, and what they think they see when it comes to Mothman is actually something demonic. I could pogo all day long and not see anything in the woods, but if I clear my mind and do what I want to do, I have an experience. Yeah, Poncho. I don't know if you guys caught some of the stuff from last weekend when I had that. I done a short video showing you kind of some of the new stuff I found after hearing that chatter in the woods, which I need to get my butt in gear and go back over that audio. But So I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and like that old military base. I mean, Josh Gates and his team from Destination X, they went down in that military compound and found a lot of stuff from the area that he said to come from, which would suggest that the military either A, like I said, caught him, was trying to study him, or B, may have created him. And that's why I can't leave that
Mhm.
aspect that military has a hand in it in one way or another. Because there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of testimony from soldiers coming from that area. There's a lot of testimony from witnesses in that area. I mean, all of it is well in that realm possibility. I had chatter at the
Mhm.
dog park in Hercule. Oh, you did? Yeah, that's. I'm still investigating on that. I've got to get down and do. Me and Da is going to be doing a show together on Moon Valley, and then I've got that case number 002, the werewolf sighting in Spring Rivers. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. I've just not
Yeah.
been able to get around to do them. But
Now
so I
I
mean,
like,
yeah, I mean it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I like
Sorry.
what Starflower says here. Wondering if it's a singular entity. I don't believe that it's any more of a singular entity than. I mean, you look at the fallen angels. Okay, look at the fallen, the Watchers. There was a couple hundred of them that were cast out. So I
Hmm.
mean, if you can have that biblically referenced in a basically a proven history, past history of the spiritual aspect of humanity. Um, I wouldn't say that Mothman is a single entity. I would say that he is probably, or she. I don't want to like do a sexual,
Yeah.
dysfunction here. So it could be a she, and we don't know. Um, we
Mhm.
gotta keep our pronouns the way they are. So he and she
No,
is what
yeah.
I'm using. And that's all I'm using. Um, but you know, he does have a supernatural ability. That is a given. I mean,
Hmm.
anything that can manipulate space, time, consciousness of people, um, because people dreamt of this entity. People have had interactions with this energy of this being because it would stand outside the residence and they would just get asphyxiated by the red glowing eyes, the huge eyes of this entity. And in fact, can he or does he have the ability to make us seem like we're in a reality that we think we're in and we're not actually in? I believe that, yeah, I believe any angel could do that. And then if you talk about dark angels, I do believe, that there is some precedence here to make a a basis for Mothman to be what I would call a dark angel. Okay,
Hmm.
one that is destined to let humanity know impending disasters that are going to happen. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Oh yeah, because I mean, there's cases where he's attacked people, and there's cases where he's been at a natural disaster. So
Right.
really the cases go both ways, and that's why I'm kind of on the fence. Is A, it could be just some kind of supernatural warning you about something, or B, it could be a demonic thing that's causing harm. I mean, it's just when the evidence goes two different directions, you got to think of it more of a logical sense of mind. So you got to take logic and put in here. And logic will tell you either
Mhm.
A, he has a mental disorder which causes him not to realize what he's doing half the time, or B, it's two separate things. And I'm kind of leaning in towards it's probably two separate things. And it could boil down to if there's more than one, they can have a personality just like humans can too. I mean, we know Bigfoots have personalities. We know Dogman has personalities. We know all these other creatures have personalities. it's not far-fetched to say that Mothman doesn't as well. So I mean, there could be more than one, and that's why you're finding them, and not just in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, but in Chicago, New York. Where's some other ones? I'm trying to remember all of them. Chicago, New York,
Milwaukee, San Francisco.
San Francisco. That's one I was trying to. Yeah, I mean, so
They've even seen them in China and Turkey and parts of the Middle East. He was supposedly spotted in Turkey the day before that massive earthquake hit.
Yep. So I mean, it shows you there that there's a lot of evidence that, for me, and this is my hypothesis, my theory, my opinion, however you want to put it, that there's actually more than one kind, more than one. Now, I'm on the supernatural field, but I cannot dispute the fact that it's military made as well. I can't dispute that. I'm just the one that leans on the fence on the supernatural side of it, just because
Do
of
you think?
all
Do
the
you think
description.
that? Do you think that Eric, that it's more produced or genetically made by the military, or do you believe that it was through some dark magic type of a ceremony, like almost a satanic type of an occult ceremony that could have brought this thing forth?
Originally, I believe it was probably some kind of dark ceremony. Now, with that being said, it goes right back to what I was talking about with the military having a hand in it. We know that they breed dogman and werewolves. Well, they make werewolves breed dogman. So if they ever got their hands on a Mothman, they very well could have created their own. That is not out of that realm of possibility for them jagheads to do that kind of crap, because everybody wants to associate with the cult and the military with Hitler in World War II, folks. Our military's been doing it since then. I mean, I hate to tell you that, but that's just the cold, hard, honest truth. You really think that crap died out when we supposedly took out the Nazis? No. They got brought here and just continued to research here and supplied it to our military.
So basically, something like the Vril Society probably could have existed way back when, and done consecutive ceremonies and stuff, dark magic ceremonies, to bring forth this being, or at least open the first portal for this being to come through. Now, I find it very, 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 very informative that the first place that this being was seen was basically attached to the grounds of the TNT facility, which, when you think about it, what kills the most people or unalives the most people in the world and throughout world history? It's weapons. Okay. And basically, this thing could have been summoned here by just the sheer amounts of the unalived people, and their spirits leaving their bodies. And this being could have been psychically connected to our spiritual aspect of our being, to where he felt the need to come here in person because of all the unalived people during World War II and the facility that was making the weapons, the ammunition, so that unalived those people. So there could be that connection too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with the possibility of him being a time traveler, if he is a interdimensional being, like is one of the leading theories that it's a interdimensional being, the possibility is definitely yes, it could be a time traveler type being. I don't know though, man. There's still a lot that we got to learn about it. I was reading Poncho's comments here about how I saw a Mothman, Thunderbird, or a pictorial in Iraq near the ziggurat at the temple of UR. I was wearing NVGs, was more worried about IEDs or attacks, wasn't able to stop convoy to check it out. yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird shit that happens over in that sandbox. Um, a
Yeah.
lot of weird shit that happens over in that big kitty litter box, Poncho. I've spent a lot of times on night duty on the, either ECP watch or AHA watch over there,
Hmm.
or amongst other things I was doing. And we'll leave it at that while I was over there. Spent a lot of time doing nighttime activities. And I can tell you, there's a lot of weird shit that happens over in that big kitty litter box.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. So what you've seen, Pacho, I can't dispute that one bit, buddy. I really can't dispute that. That is a very there's a lot of negative energy over in that area. There's a lot of positive energy too, but there's a lot of negative energy as well. There's just a lot of weird shit over there. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Very true. And the whole spiritual aspect of the whole Mothman thing is very
Mm,
interesting to me though, because we all know that when it comes our time to go, we're not going to be alone when we do.
mm,
um I know that from my own couple of times that I actually, my heart stopped, and I was legally dead, and came back on the last shot that I was given. To They give you the series of 10 shots, and I had 9 out of that 10 the one time, and just as I got that ninth shot, um my heart started back up again. So and I knew damn well I wasn't alone. you know it was just, and I didn't see anything, but I could feel like I wasn't alone.
mhm.
So there has to be the connection between people passing, or mass production of people unalived because of war, um, that causes this being to come forward. Um, I'd just be curious to find out through all the dark events that have happened throughout history if this being was actually witnessed on the scene before these dark events ever happened. It would be kind of neat
Yeah.
to see if I could correlate it all together. But like Starflower said, is he a time traveler? Now, I think if I was a supernatural being, okay, some type, and some type of either it's a demonic or angelic, in nature, I would think that I would be able to traverse the timelines just as easily as I would going from one dimension to another. So, I would say that they probably have the ability to walk the timeline and to enter and go as they please, because they're at that level way above whatever we are at. You know what I mean? So who knows?
Yeah. Um, it's hard to say because I mean, like I said before, we really don't know a whole lot about him. Um, we really don't. I'm typing in a email address because I'm kind of interested in um, if I could freaking type with my big fingers in this itty bitty phone. Hey, David, if you want to, send that to cryptid and mythological at gmail.com. I'll take a listen to it when I get a chance because I'd like to hear it, and we can get some other people to listen to it too. We might be able to come up with something with them sounds. So, I mean, it'd be great. But yeah, I mean, I can't say one way or another. I mean, really, I'm just not as educated on Mothman as some people are. I mean, I can only go off of what, the last 10 years of studying I've done on him, and it's not been a hardcore study. I'm not going to lie. He's not been one of the top
Mhm.
main studies for me, just because all the stuff is just so scattered. It's hard to pinpoint down exactly what this thing is. And that's why I lean towards there's probably more than one, and each one of them has its own little. Now, there's a dark one and there's a good one. And the fact of time travel, I can't dispute that. The fact it's an interdimensional being that travels throughout time or throughout places, I can't dispute that either. We just don't know enough. I was trying to look up Native American lure on him about 6 years ago, and I really couldn't find anything on Native American lure with Mothman. I really can't.
No, there
Everything
isn't
points
any.
back to 1966.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. There really isn't any. I can speak for three of the nations that I'm affiliated with. Actually, four of them.
I'll let you down a little bit, bud. Your
And
phone's getting
none of
crackly.
them have any type of legend history dealing with the Mothman,
Yeah.
unless the Mothman is a shapeshifter and has the
Yep.
ability to change shape. Um, but I don't think that it would have that ability. I think that its ability is consistent with its full time form of being when it appears,
Mhm.
which is the standard red eyes, moth looking type of a human figure, moth wings, standing 7 feet tall, probably 400 pounds, you know. Yeah, I just don't get the feeling that it's not a natural being. Okay, it is definitely not a natural being.
Mm-mm.
The feeling that I get from my investigations on it, and from very dear brothers of mine that have done even more in-depth investigations on it,
Mm.
um, I would definitely assume that it is a dark supernatural being. Um, Now, whether you want to call him an angel of death, the angel of doom, I mean, that's fine, because we really don't know how to categorize the Mothman, except
Mm-mm.
through his supernatural powers, and he does
Yeah.
have supernatural powers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, oh man,
Yeah. I mean, it's half a dozen of one and a couple dozen of the other on which way it can go. Of what I mean, to me, the possibilities are quite a few, just because we just don't know enough. We really don't. I'm
exactly.
100. The only thing I'm really, to me, screams out for sure is it's supernatural. But I can't find nothing in history with him. Nothing in Native American lore with him. He just seemed to have appeared back in 1966, out of thin air.
Yeah,
I can't find no history on anything dealing with Mothman. It all comes back and starts back in November of 1966. So that's why, if it could be a dimensional one, I'm very big. Hey, Michelle, very big on it being a possibility, because of the fact there's no history on it, just none. I was kind of listening or reading Starflower's interesting counter there. Yeah, it could
yeah,
be. I mean, and the fact that dark magic could have brought him along. I mean, that's very possible too. Just because of the time frame and the fact that there's no history on it, it's man, yeah, the possibility is definitely there. I mean,
hmm
it's either going to have to be brought about dark magic, or it's going to have to be brought about a interdimensional traveler. That's kind of
yeah.
what it boils down to.
Well, and at the time too, you got to think too that we had just gotten over the Korean War and World War II at the time, and that facility. I'm not sure if that facility was decommissioned after the Korean War, I
Hmm.
believe. I think sometime in the
I believe
50s.
you're. Let me
But
go ahead.
who's to say that it wasn't doing things secretively um, under the radar, if you know what I mean. And
Mm-hmm.
that this being was pulled forth through the dimensions, or whatever dimension it comes from, into the reality of 1966. You know, but I would think if it has that draw from all the massive unalived people, whether it be through war or um, disease or pestilence or just natural causes, or suicide, you would think it would be linked to all of those things to call it
Mm-hmm.
forward. Um, so it makes me think that it's got to be a certain level of despair in the universe to bring this being forward. Okay, um, kind of like take for instance, you say, I don't know if anybody's ever used a Ouija board before, but when you open the Ouija board, you ask certain questions and stuff. And the more questions you ask, the stronger the being on the other side is going to get. And it's going to start
Mm-hmm.
demanding and attaching itself to some people in that room. Now, it's almost the same thing with the Mothman, okay?
Yeah.
Because he was seen before the incident of the Silver Bridge and he was seen after the incident of Silver Bridge. There have been reports throughout West Virginia, um, from Romney to Logan County to Point Pleasant, down to Charleston, of this being seen on the sides of the road, just standing there staring at the traffic. Does that mean that there's going to be a big accident at that scene? I don't know. I mean, we would have to go back and check to see exactly what happened on those locations where he was seen. He's been reported on smaller bridges that were abandoned, in West Virginia. You know, so clearly, I mean, it's a continued process.
I posted a link to that. Oh, did we lose you, brother? Oh no, you're there. Okay. Sorry.
No, I'm
I
here.
thought you froze up
I
on
was
me for a
reading that.
second. I posted a link on here to this student's article he did for the University of Wisconsin, in case anybody's interested. There's the
Oh,
link
okay.
to it there. Sorry, I was going to wait till he's done talking to say that, and then I thought you froze up, so I was like, oh. Um, I'm just kind of reading over this because I was hoping it'd tell me when that base got decommissioned, and it does. And it talks about the base and the fact that it made weapons during World War II, but it's also associated with UFO and paranormal sightings as well. But it didn't tell me when it closed down. I was looking at that.
Right. All right.
Um,
Now, I see. Good morning, Candy and Girl on a Gong, and Michelle. Good morning. You know, Mothman was sighted. Yeah, we talked about that at Chicago O'Hare
mm,
Airport. But it's actually
yeah,
been spotted all over Chicago, to tell you the truth. Um, it almost makes you think that this thing is more than just one. Um, so my thought process here, and God forgive me for saying this, is so out there right now that why couldn't there be multiple of these beings? What if what we were seeing in 1966 and all the other times was a fallen angel?
could be. I mean that
I mean,
that is another. Hey, thank you, Star. You're awesome.
oh, Starflower,
I'll
thank you very much, dear.
put that up there for you, brother. I put that up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it could be a fallen angel, that is a possibility too. I mean, we can't dispute that. We can't leave that out of the talks of what this thing is because it
I
is
mean,
well within that realm of possibility. Well within that
right.
realm.
I would more than likely classify it as a fallen angel than I would
Mhm.
a cryptid in any day, shape, or form. And call it what it is. If you want to call it a cryptid, that's up to you. But I'm not calling it a cryptid because it's a supernatural being. And to me, a
Yep.
supernatural being would be an angel or a demon. Okay, and the fallen angels would make sense. It would kind of correlate with that. Um, and we all know that Lucifer and the demonic aspect of everything with the supernatural hates humanity. So it very well could be attracted to massive humanity, despair, and
Hmm.
unalive uh, times throughout history. Um,
Yep.
it's got to be some type of a connection like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. That's just my thought process of it classifying it as a fallen angel. Um,
Yeah.
it
I
just
mean,
makes more sense.
it does. And that's well in that realm, brother. It really is. Good morning, Jessica. Um, it I can't dispute that one bit because it's right in that category. It has to be. I mean, I'd say that's right up there with the leaning of it being interdimensional as well. I mean, the fact that it could be a fallen angel. Yeah, there's just so much we just don't know yet. There really is. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint it down, but it's
Right.
cool. I mean, it is an interesting subject, and I probably need to do more research on it than what I have. But um, I mean, what I've done is just like I said, there's no historical record. I mean, it just appeared back in November of 1966, and then now we've had all these sightings all over the world of him. I mean, and we know for a fact that demons take shapes that scares people. That if you got to fear something, a demon's going to take that shape because they want you to have that fear. That's the best way to gain control over you is that fear, or
Yep.
to feed off that fear. What's the best way for a demon to do it? A demon will take that shape of something you fear, so it can feed off of it.
Right.
I
And
can't
and
dispute
you
that one
know,
bit.
every time it has interacted with any part of humans, it has done it in
Mhm.
more of a
Malicious.
manipulation of the mind and the sight than anything. Which tells me right there that it is a dark being. That
Mhm.
it would actually be categorized in the fallen angel. I mean, it just to me it makes
Yeah.
sense. Um,
Yeah.
you know, um, I don't recall hearing my father say of anything seeing that thing um, during World War II. So I'm really
Mhm.
not too positive of that. But of course, they had other strange things happening during World War II. We all know about the wolf men that were in the forest there in the Black
Germany,
Forest
the
in
German werewolves.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we know about that. Um, Now, could this being a Mothman, could it be alien? I don't think so.
No.
And the reason being, I don't think so with that is because then again, it doesn't have that same modus operandi. You know what I mean? As far as acting like an alien when aliens are spotted around people or have abducted people. Um,
Hmm.
it seems like the alien aspect of it would definitely be a far left idea or concept for the Mothman to be. So I really truly believe that he is a malevolent, dark energy that is called forth through
Yeah.
mass tragedy in our world. And I
Hmm.
think that he has some kind of a psychic link to that feeling of despair and that volume of feeling of despair um, to come forth in this world and to be seen. Um, so yeah, I mean, it fits everything I can think of as a fallen angel.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Now,
I gotta pick on Pancho for a second.
you said something about the military making possibly making him, and
Mhm,
I don't perceive that as a possibility. I think that if they did anything, they probably did some kind of a dark ceremony to
mhm.
open up the portal initially to bring this being through from wherever it was hidden. I do believe that this is a hidden entity. And what I mean by a hidden
Mhm.
entity, a lot of history you're going to find on it. Okay. Not a lot of history at all you're going to find on it. That's what I mean by hidden. It prefers to be un unacknowledged as far as its existence. So that's why it probably goes back to wherever it comes from and then comes back in whenever there's that mass feeling of despair again and tragedy. So I think that's just the calling card. I really do.
Yeah. And so I mean, on the theory that he being conjured up, could it be conjured up to for a mission? Because we know that dark witches, those who practice black magic, dark magic, will send things after somebody. So could it have been conjured up to take somebody out? We know the truth behind the Titanic. The Titanic that we think of was not the Titanic that was sunk. That was the ship, the sister ship that was being decommissioned, and it was taken out to take out the most powerful people that was holding back this called Kabbalistic takeover. So they were on the supposed Titanic that sunk, and therefore got rid of their competition and was able to push forth this fiat system that they got us on. Could that have been what happened with him in the disasters? Could he have been summoned to take out somebody during that time, and that's why you see him at disasters? That's we know the military or the government's into that kind of crap. So I mean, that is definitely possible. And I think that's why I said if the military had him, very well could have been for studies. That's why you find the shackles and the stuff like that where in the tomb like area that they had it in. Definitely within that realm of possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the military, as far as I know,
Yeah.
from being in the special access programs and having some really weird assignments, um, I've never really been given enough of an insight to say that 100% is I'm guaranteed 100% that our military is making beings that are stronger,
Mhm.
smarter, and God, I sound like I'm the $6 million man. Smarter, stronger, and just all around less susceptible to disease and injury um, for their military gains. Yes, I do believe that they do that. It's called a super
Mhm.
soldier program, and
Mhm.
they've been trying that. Okay, and it's actually we've been trying that since the end of World War I. Believe it or not, that's how far back it goes. Um,
Yeah.
and I think what really got them to the military to use the genetics enhancement program with humans and animal combinations, whether it's chimp and human, ape and human, lizard and human, pig and human, you know, eagle and human. It doesn't matter what combination. I do believe that our military got the idea of using that as a super soldier program from all the hieroglyphics in Egypt. and
Yep.
you see Toth there with the bird head. You have Anubis with the dog head. You know, I think that our military actually saw that after World War One in
Mm-hmm.
in Egypt and found those hieroglyphics and actually studied them and realized, hey, they've got something here. Maybe there is a way to genetically link these two types of completely different beings together and make a super soldier. You know,
Yeah.
um, I I would highly agree with anybody that says that even the possibility of the dog man being genetically created at one place in time through the military to basically combat other things that have gotten out of control. We all hear about all
Yeah.
the horrors and stuff, the monsters that are back in the national parks, way back in the national parks where nobody goes, and when they do, they end up disappearing. Um, so yeah, I mean that makes perfectly good sense too. That the military industrial complex would want something like that.
Yeah.
Enhanced abilities to track and hunt, and it would literally you could literally program it just like you would a pet. You know,
Yeah.
just like a drug sniffing dog or a cadaver dog would be trained. You'd train them the same way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look at history. We know Dogman has been throughout history. It's been on the Reese map. I mean, it's talked about by the Romans. It's talked about in Egypt. Native Americans will tell you they're one of the first beings. And the fact that the military get a hold of them and create something like that is not out of the realm of possibility. In fact, there's been several reports that come out talk about how it's easier to control a werewolf because they still got more of their human state than it is a dog man, because the dog man is more animalistic and doesn't listen as good as the werewolf does. So I mean, all that is definitely in that realm of possibility that they created them. You know, look at the Native Americans. They tell you the story that a dog man is bred and a werewolf is created. I mean, the fact that the military learning how to do that is, oh yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, they take things. You got to look at. I mean, everybody
Mm-hmm.
associates this stuff from World War II and the Nazis, folks. This stuff has been happening for generations before that. So every military is always trying to get the upper hand of another military group. So if they can find something that they can control that gives them
Exactly.
the upper hand over their opponent, they're going to freaking do it. I mean, that's weapons, that's a cult, that's I mean anything, any aspect that gives them an upper hand on their opponent, they're going to do it. You know.
Yep.
Now, there's
Well,
also that possibility that aliens cross genetically modifying things. That is possible, but I'm leaning more towards something else.
right. All right. Good morning, Miriam. Um, Corey, it's good to see you, bro. I completely lost my train of thought just now. Anyways,
We were talking about Dogman and the military and Mothman and the military.
yeah, I'm having a lot of problems right now, medically, guys. So bear with me.
Yeah, yeah, no,
In fact, I
no
might
worries.
have to cut this short, guys. I hate to say it, but I might have to cut it short in order to come back on tomorrow. We'll do a longer one tomorrow because I just don't have it in me right now. I'm having a hard time breathing right now. So
You take care of yourself, brother.
I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at this. If you want, you can get a hold of me at lakotaman333 at gmail.com. I had my Facebook site for Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel hijacked. Facebook took it away from me for some reason. It's still up, but I can't get in there and do anything. So I've got to figure out what's going on with that too this week. But yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get some kind of rest. I'm just not doing too good today. So
No problem, brother. You take care of yourself.
you know, please like, heart, and share this out if you would, guys. Give us a thumbs up. That really helps with the algorithm. And then hit that bell icon to be notified. Um, and I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Okay, I'll try and be a lot better tomorrow morning. Okay, I promise. It's just been a bad week for me. So for that, I'm sorry. I love you all very much. You can go to Amazon and look for Eric's books. Go to his channel too and subscribe and check to make sure you're still subscribed here. And I'm going to get going because now I'm starting to have some chest pain. So I will see you all tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Okay. Eric, thank you, brother. I'm not even going to stick around in the chat. I just got to get going. All right.
No, brother, you take care of yourself, man. No worries. No worries.
All right. Love you guys very much, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you guys. Peace, love, and blessings, y'all.